Okay, friends, a minute and a half, and then we're going to continue with the next part. I feel a little rushed, but we got to keep the train moving in the right direction, of course. Okay, I'm going to ask the praise team to make their way up to the front so we can start our next portion. All those in the hallway, come on, we're going to keep going. 2:30. Listen, so we're going to go to the next part, and then there's some fellowship time. We built it into the program. Let's keep going. Don't turn me off yet. Hello, is this thing still on? I'm here at the doors of the kitchen. Listen, guys, we need to give a big round of applause to the kitchen. Wait, no, not yet, hang on. Sister Zenny and your team, come out here for a second, guys. We want to say thank you. Get Sister Zenny out here. We want to say thank you to her. Other side? Okay. Yeah, come on, guys. Come out here. Is she coming there? Oh, this side? Okay. Hey, buddy. Is Sister Zenny? Get Sister Zenny out here. Come, Sister Zenny. Okay, just wait, buddy. Just wait. Give me a second. Is she coming? Okay. Sister Zenny, come out here. And to your team as well, the whole team. No, they're being trouble, those ladies. I can see. Okay, guys, this is Sister Zenny. Let's give her a round of applause for the food. Yes, come on, guys. Very good. Thank you so much, Sister Zenny. We appreciate the food. I had seconds. Anybody here have thirds? I had seconds. All right. Thank you, Sister Zenny. Thank you so much. All right. Rice? No rice. Okay, there was one complaint. They said there was no rice. Okay, fair enough. All right, so I'm going to head this over to our praise team. Oh, I like your hair. Oh, thank you. I thought it was the praise team. That's right. Okay, friends, you ready? They'll come. Oh, everyone's having a good time.
See Rachel and Alex. Is Rachel, Miranda? Alex, are you in the house? We need them. Oh, here comes Rachel. Okay. Is it possible we get someone to move the monitor back a little ways? Then we can be able to see the words. That's okay. Alex, is Alex here?
Alex? Alex, are you in the building?
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you, Pastor.
Ancient words. Ancient words. Ancient words. Yep. Okay.
First time.
All right, with your stomachs full, let's try to sing. Ancient words.
I invite you to sing with us, please.
Any tips for us, Rachel?
Not really? Holy words long preserved for our walk in this world. They resound with God's own heart. Oh, let the ancient words impart. Words of life, words of hope, give us strength, help us cope in this world where'er we roam. Ancient words will guide us home. Ancient words ever true, changing me and changing you. We have come with open hearts. Oh, let the ancient words impart. Holy words of our faith, handed down to the sage. They to us through sacrifice. Oh, heed the faithful words of Christ. Words of life, words of hope, give us strength, help us cope in this world where'er we roam. Ancient words will guide us home. Ancient words ever true, changing me and changing you. We have come with open hearts. Oh, let the ancient words impart. Ancient words ever true, changing me and changing you. We have come with open hearts. Oh, let the ancient words impart.
We have come.
With open hearts, oh, let the ancient words impart.
It's hard to sing on a full stomach.
Bless the Lord, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, I'll worship Your holy name. The sun comes up, it's a new day dawning. It's time to sing your song again. Whatever may pass and whatever lies before me, let
White one. Okay. Excellent. Thank you. That was awesome. Thank you, guys. Lovely to hear the songs. At this time, we'll have our very own brother Jerry Shapure, whom I enjoyed his last sermon. I don't think he knows I watched his sermon on YouTube, and I really enjoy that interplay between the secular thinking and the theistic thinking, where you played off, what's that comedian's name? I forgot his name. What was that comedian that you were mentioning in your sermon? Rick Gervais. Yes, Gervais. I really enjoyed that sermon. So he is a managing partner at Miller and Thompson, and so he's going to give us a little history of our beloved church. So he's one of our members, our very own Jerry Shapure. Here you go, brother.
Thank you. Well, I'm definitely unworthy to be giving you the history of Mountain View because I can see the brodeurs here, and you would be definitely in a position to give a first-person account. And of course, the Nielsen's who have been with us from the very beginning. But I guess it is my job to do that today, and I will do it. And I will take us back in time to 1973, January. A small group of members from the Calgary Central Seventh-day Adventist Church expressed the hope to Dr. Douglas Devenich that maybe a new congregation would be a good idea in southwest Calgary, and he encouraged them to do it. After a few months of planning and soul-searching and commitment, they decided to take the leap of faith and they began meeting in May of 1973 at the daycare center operated by Caroline and Adolph Kielbaugh. The Mountain View Adventist Company officially obtained the status of a church on November 10, 1973, with Elder Suter officiating. Ross Wilkinson was the head elder, and Caroline and Adolph were the secretary-treasurers. Over the next few months, they did not have a pastor, so visiting speakers came to fill the pulpit, and of course, some in that original group did that as well. So let me just remind you of who those charter members were. You saw those who are here with us stand this morning, but let me just give you the names very quickly to take you back to that day. Don and May Boyce, Carol and Dave Brodeur, Pat and Lynn Cherry, Debbie and Tony Grant, Bob and Ruth Huther, Caroline and Adolph Kielbaugh, Herman and Elaine Nielsen, Donna and Dwight Rose, Ross and Leona Wilkinson, and Gary and Juanita Ziegenhagel. And I should also mention that there were children involved as well, and they came along, but I don't think that they were quite members at that time. If I'm wrong, you can remind me. I do want to, though, at this time, just because they have been here from the beginning, I would like to ask Herman and Elaine Nielsen to stand again, and I think we just should congratulate them for being here every week, welcoming me whenever I do come, but they have been here for that entire time, and all of the rest of you are great, but these two certainly deserve our expression of appreciation this afternoon. Thank you so much for your commitment to this church throughout the last 50 years. It's unbelievable and just greatly appreciated. From its earliest days, Mountain View was focused on outreach and acceptance and church stewardship, a commitment to the local church community, and very importantly, to this very school, Chinook Winds Adventist Academy. Along with those priorities, they had the goal of their own building program. Now, you will know that since we are in this church school gymnasium today, that that's a 50-year plan. And we're just about ready to commence construction and get going, but we're not there yet. But they had a great idea who I think the time has come for. Let me give you some of the firsts that are associated with that new church. Isaac Grant was the first baby, born May 10, 1973. Lillian Buell was the first baptism on July 13, 1974. Eldine Kielbach was the first to be married on July 4, 1976. Netta Riley was the first member to pass away on March 18, 1983. And our oldest member was Caroline Kilbaugh, who passed away on December 20, 2021 at the age of 96. She was a member of Mountain View for almost 48 years at that time. In fact, this podium that is here in front of me was donated by the Kielbaughs, and so their influence and their impact continues to this day. And of course, as we know, the Nielsen's have now been charter members for 51 years. So that is a record for sure. In 1974, the church began meeting in the St. Lawrence Anglican Church, and in January 1975, the church finally got its first pastor. Dennis Braun came with his family. Pastor Braun did much to solidify the church as a group and give it status as an important part of the Calgary community. During his time, the church moved to the Kingsland Baptist Church, and shortly thereafter, Pastor M became our pastor. Pastor M had a keen sense of direction and preached the gospel with an emphasis on reverence and holiness, which was instilled in the congregation. After that, we had many other pastors over the years, each pastor bringing their own unique contribution to our history. Let me just review some of the names with you. In fact, I'll try to touch on all of them. In 1977, Pastor Terry McComb pastored our church. We remember Pastor McComb for his great nature stories. From 1978 to 1985, Pastor Jim Burgess led our church. And during his time, there was a period of growth and stability. And of course, he always had a great smile on his face and an attitude of encouragement and kindness. On March 21, 1985, the story that you heard about this morning in the children's story happened. This school burned down. A sizable amount of the money that had accumulated at that time, after just a decade, was then directed to the rebuilding of this school rather than to the building of the church for Mountain View. And in a sense, the church school is now repaying some of that with the opportunity that we have to worship here each Sabbath. The church school was rebuilt in record time because of the commitment of the people in this room and the contributions that they made. So by the second week of September 1986, the new school was opened, the one that we're in today. In 1986, Pastor Warman contributed to our church in a tangible way through the creation of the first church directory that included photographs of each church member. From 1987 to 1989, Pastor Chris Kinman led our church and created a more contemporary service. With the support of all Calgary churches, Chris established Project Impact, a 5 p.m. service that took place at Fort Calgary, designed to accommodate young Adventists and their friends. And I remember coming down from Edmonton during those days and visiting that program at Fort Calgary. It was a great program. Through the years, Mountain View has had many changes in pastoral leadership. From 1984 to 1981, Brian Gertz kept the church organized and running smoothly, even though there were sometimes gaps between the different pastors, and we wanted to recognize his important leadership during those years. In 1987, Doug Pat selected and financially contributed to a new piano that was used in our church, and we want to recognize that as well. On March 15, 1987, we held our last service in the Kingsland Baptist Church and met in the Chinook Winds Adventist Academy gym for the summer, and then began worshiping at St. Philip's Anglican Church later in 1987. In 1990, Pastor Ron Goodward assumed leadership of our church and helped the church look for a new property to build on. His time with us was brief, and the following year, Pastor Clayton Stanwyck, and Clayton is here. And Clayton, can you stand? I'd like to recognize you. We appreciate the fact that you've come and are with us here celebrating our 50th anniversary, and we greatly appreciated your leadership. I think it was during your leadership that Barb and I moved from Edmonton to Calgary, and it was a great move on our part, we think, and we thank you for the welcoming that you and Annette and everyone here gave to us when we came down in 1994 to join this community. Pastor Stanwyck, you were with us for 8 years, and during that time, one of our first charter members passed away, Adolf Kilbaugh. And as I indicated, this lectern was donated in his memory. During that time, we had another move of church location to the Glamorgan Church of God. And if I can turn this page, I'll be able to tell you the rest of the story. It was during this decade that we also acquired the current real estate designated for our new church home. That's a little bit of a hint to one of the quiz questions that's going to come later. From 1999 to 2000, Pastor Steve Little provided leadership to our Mountain View Church group. He enjoyed adding a dramatic flair to his sermons. And when Pastor Little left, Rosemary Warman spent endless time and energy to keep Mountain View operating smoothly as our elder. In 2001, Elder Spangler, Bill Spangler, provided leadership to our church on a part-time basis. In 2003, we moved to the Advent Lutheran Church in Northwest Calgary, leaving the South for a short time. We did not have a pastor at that time, but Elder John Bullock, one of our members and a previous pastor, and he was a Bible teacher here at Chinook Winds during that time, provided some leadership and sermons for us during that time. And then, in February of 2005, Honey Todd, as you already heard, joined our church and became our pastor. And under her leadership, the little church grew and we were blessed. And we're so grateful for her leadership. And then we now are under the leadership of our current pastor, Julio Davia. Under his guidance, our membership is now pushing 300, depending upon how you count some of the young people that we have with us. But it's a wonderful group, a community that is here today in this church school, but very, very shortly will be across the road just to the north, and we will continue to grow and serve the community that we love. Thank you very much for listening to this history lesson, and I hope that it brought back many memories as it did me as I put together some of these thoughts this afternoon to share with you.
Thank you, Brother Jerry. Much appreciated. That was awesome. Excellent. All right. Elder Corkum, come up here. I should have had you up here. I was rushing up here just to make sure that there was no empty space. But Elder Corkum is now going to recognize the pastors. Now, I know Pastor Hanny had a previous commitment where she had to step out. But there are some pastors here. And I want to give Elder Corkum a chance. Now, Elder Corkum was the leader of the Conference of Alberta for 7 years or 8? 7 or 8 years. How long were you the conference president here?
8 years.
8 years, yes. So at one point.
From 1908 till
1908. Don't say that.
Actually, 1987 to 1996. And the years go by, don't they? It's amazing. So you heard the list of pastors, so I'm not going to take time to go over that. But, and we had the stand was recognized, but 2 of the pastors send greetings to you. So I'm going to share those greetings. The first is Dennis Braun, who was the first pastor here, and he came in 1975, I think they said. And he just says, Diane, his wife, and I would like to express our heartfelt greetings to the Mountain View Church on attaining a 50th anniversary. We were proud to be a part of those beginning years, and we're grateful for the kindness shown to us as a fresh, out-of-school pastoral couple. We have many fond memories of the all too short time we spent there. Congratulations, and may the Lord's blessing be with you all. So they couldn't be with us today. And then the other greeting is from Steve and Lori Little. And Steve says, greetings to the Mountain View family. Lori and I are currently living in Sydney, BC. You know, they're over the mountains. There is a song that says, over the mountains lies the promised land. It just depends on, you know, which side of the mountains you're on when you sing that song. But we serve Rest Haven and SOOKE. How do you pronounce that? So anyway, churches. Lori is an educational assistant at our church school, Lakeview Christian Academy. Our oldest, Joshua, is married. I remember when he was born, and living with his wife in Saskatoon. Our 2 girls, Janessa and Cassandra, are both living in Vancouver. And while we were only there, Mountain View briefly, we have some fond memories. Now, he goes through a list of memories, and I'm going to just refer to them. One was a day they lived in Cochrane, and a day when everything was sunny and warm, and they were in short-sleeved, and before the end of the afternoon, they were in the midst of a hailstorm. He kind of remembers, maybe that's why he's in BC, I don't know. But he remembered that. He wanted to recognize Marvin Nygaard and the great work that he had as a realtor. And then he wanted to remember this pulpit. He was pastor, I think. No, maybe he wasn't pastor when it came, but he remembered and was wondering if they still had this acrylic pulpit. And we can attest that it is still here because I stand behind it right now and speak. And then evidently they put together an organizational structure for the church which was less hierarchy, more community, he said. And he still has it in his file. I don't know all the details of that, but he says, please stay grounded in God's presence. Love one another. Continue to faithfully fulfill your calling in the great, grand gospel commission of Matthew 28:19. Go and make disciples of all nations, Blessings from Lori and I, and happy 50th, Steve and Lori Little. So those are the messages that a couple of the pastors have shared. And now we're going to hear some more music from our Tuscany trio.
Yeah, Elder Corkum is up. Are you wanting to use this today, Elder Corkum, or you want to tell them to go to the next slide? Okay, get your phones out. We're going to use our phones. So scan that or go to menti.com and enter that. We're going to have a quiz, and you can participate with your phone. Yeah. So you guys thought you were going to go on social media on your phone, huh? But we got you. No. Anyways, get your phone out, and Elder Corkum will go through the questions, and then you can enter. And let's see how good the church does with some of the questions. I failed miserably because some of these questions were very tough, you know.
Yeah. I hope that you can get them all right, Pastor.
Right, that's right. You know, it's funny, two of the pastors that pastored here I've come in contact with. Pastor Steve Little was my pastor in Saskatoon.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know Dennis Braun was the pastor here, the first pastor. I actually have a story of him. I went to Cuba on a Cuba trip, share him, where we had to preach an evangelistic series. He had his own church, and I had my own. Anyways, one time we went exploring in downtown Havana, and we had with us 2 other individuals who happened to be hardcore vegans. And when I mean like hardcore, and listen, if you're a vegan, I'm not here to put you down at all whatsoever. But they were like, not, like they wouldn't compromise at all on the veganism. And we went to a restaurant. Now we're in Cuba, a communist country, and you know, they're not as privy to veganism and all these other things. So we're looking at the menu, and all there was fish and a few other things that we couldn't eat. But there was a fish there that we said, oh, we can order this meal. This is fish. It has scales. We can eat it. So him and I ordered it. And the other 2 who were with us, they're friends. You know, I don't mean any harm by this, but they just had the worst time ordering. And Pastor Dennis Braun and I were looking at each other. We're like, what's going on? How come these guys aren't able to order? You know, sometimes you have to be flexible. If there's no vegan meal, you're going to have a little fish and maybe a little bit of meat, okay? But kosher meat, of course. Just saying, just putting that out there. So very, very jolly fellow. Just thought I'd share that with you guys.
Good.
Your turn, sir.
Okay. Very good. So, how well were you listening to the history that has been read and so forth? Okay, so how do we do this? Okay. So when Mountain View first was organized as a church, how many charter members did it have? And I have, no, let's see. Okay, you see at the bottom, it is 23, 33, 43, or 53. How many charter members did it have? Okay, so we have 23. How many agree that it was 23? Okay. Pardon? I see it. Yeah, I can see it. I can see that they were wrong because it was 33. 33 members. Okay. Rachel, you got it right, did you? Good. Okay. Okay, we go to the next one. The first pastor that was assigned from the Alberta, oh boy, if you weren't listening to this one. Okay, the first pastor that was assigned to Mountain View from the Alberta Conference was Richard Warman, Dennis Braun, Douglas Devenage, or George M., which is correct. And 39 people, 40 are saying Dennis Braun. Do you agree with them? Dennis Braun, it was. He was the first one. Okay. Number 3. Which of the following families were charter members? Gary Waniga and Chad Ziegenhagel, Dave and Carol and Jennifer Verdor, and Adolph, Caroline Kilba, and then we have Herman Jr., Caroline Nielsen. Which of the families? Tell me again. All of them. You are correct. They are all charter members. And we have, the Kilbars aren't here, but we have all the rest of them here. Isn't that great? I'm really thrilled about that. Okay, number 4. The Mountain View Church helped with the building of a new church school when the old one burned down. Which year did the old school burn down? 1985, 1983, 1982. Oh, 1979 didn't get any. Okay, so The ones that were in the majority, that is correct. 1985, it burned down. Okay? Which pastor arrived in 1978 and left in 1985? One of the longer durations. Was it Ron Goodwin, James Burgess, Clayton Stanwyck, or Steve Little? 78 to 85. Oh, okay. So how are we doing this? And I'm not sure which one it's indicating. Oh, so it's number 2 is raising. Okay, so it is number 2, Jim Burgess. And Jim Burgess, I was hoping that Sharon could come and be with us, but that wasn't possible today. A great couple, of course. And do you know that when I became conference president, I called Jim Burgess to be our health department leader. And he said, "No, I want to be a pastor." That's just a side. How many years was Honey Todd pastor of Mountain View? Oh, people are really developing a conviction on this. Wow. You must have been listening this morning when he was introduced. Okay, so Honey Todd was pastor of Mountain View for 16 years. Amen? A very good term of service. All right, number 7. For a number of years, Mountain View and Pine Ridge churches had a community outreach together. What was it? Oh, there is movement. There is movement here. But was it mustard seed, children's ministries, a ministry to the city hospitals? Here it says a van ministry. Do you agree? All right. Who was a part? Anybody here that participated in that van ministry? Okay, Dave, you did. I've seen. We got, and you as well. You're going to see some pictures from that van ministry. And Rachel, was your hand up? I know the hospital ministry, but okay. So let's go to number 8. Question 1 of 2. Now this here is to confuse the person okay. Who was head elder of Mountain View from 1984 to 1991? Was it Doug Pat, Brian Gertz, Dwight Rose, or Rosemary Warman? Who was it? We are about to have it. Is this the countdown? The countdown. Okay. They put me up here to do this test with this technology that I've never used before. And I think they're going to say, let's see if Don Corkum can do this. Okay. So they say Brian Gertz. Do you agree with them? Brian Gertz? Okay, there must have been some people here. Brian Gertz, we were hoping he could come today. He was an architect, did a lot of work with churches, and was a good head elder as well. That's number 8, okay? Number 9. Which of the following churches did Mountain View rent? All right. Was it the Hawkwood Baptist Church? Was it, I got to get this pronounced right. Was it the Glamorgan Church of God? Was it the Hope Lutheran or the Kingsland Baptist Church? Which of those did Mountain View rent? Okay. The Glamorgan Church of God, and people are doubtful on the others. There is a little bit of favor toward the Baptist Church, Kingsland Baptist Church, and they aren't so sure about Hope Lutheran, and somebody has a conviction that maybe Hawkwood Baptist Church. But how many agree with the ones for the Glamorgan Church of God? Do you agree that that's correct? Okay. How about the others? It says the Kingsland Baptist Church. Okay. Hope Lutheran? No Hope Lutheran. Advent Lutheran, but not Hope Lutheran. I put that in as a trick question. And the Hawkwood Baptist Church, I only put that one in was because every time I went to Honey Todd's house, because we used to have small groups there and meetings and many meetings, I always had to drive by the Hawkwood Baptist Church because they lived in that area. Anyway, that was just for fun. Okay, I don't think, Jerry, you mentioned this as we were going over it, but what year did Mountain View, or did you mention the year? You referred to it, and I was listening to see how many I could trick this afternoon. What year did Mountain View purchase its current property? Was it 1996, 2001, 2002, or 2005? Are they wavering? There is a deepening conviction. It was 1996. Deepening conviction. And is it right? Is their conviction right? Yes. 1996 it was. And in 3 years, that will be how long? Let's see. How many decades is that? A few. We need to build a church on that property right away. Amen. Now, here is a question. What suddenly, this is a trick question for the person presenting to see if they can confuse the person. Oh, that's just telling we have 34 people being involved. Okay, question 2 of 2, waiting for players. Okay. I wish I could interpret what the screen. Maybe I should be asking you questions about all of these faces here. Okay. From whom was the property purchased? Was it purchased from the city in 1996? From the city? From Chinook Winds? From Dr. Gimbel? Or from Loblaws? Okay. There was a quick conviction, and then somebody lost their conviction. Okay. Do we have no votes? The only thing that has a check mark is that it was purchased from the city. And The person that gave me information about this was when we had our business meeting that night. And Jerry, I think you told me it was purchased from the city. That was, pardon? So, but not Dr. Gimbel, which I thought it was part of the Gimbel property, but it was brought independent of that. Okay, how many churches did Mountain View rent before meeting at Chinook Winds? Was it 2, 3, 4, or 5? There is movement. There is movement. Now, here is what I counted as I've gone through the material. I counted 5. And you're going to say, name them. I can just hear you saying. But as we went through the material, I counted 5 that we rented, including Advent Lutheran, before we came to Chinook Winds. Okay, let's get more current. From which African country do we have the most members today? Kenya, South Africa, South Sudan, or from Nigeria? Wow, suddenly we have this appearing. South Sudan, Kenya. Kenya's growing a little bit. South Sudan, Africa. It looks like Nigeria is the winner. Would you agree? Yes. Who's here from Nigeria right now? Felix. And others. Oh, we have over here, Juliana, different ones. Yeah, we have a number of families in our church now from Nigeria. Here is a question. Where did Mountain View's current pastor come to Calgary from? Was it Ontario, Nicaragua, Saskatchewan, or British Columbia? Some are saying you came here from Saskatchewan. Is that correct? Ah, he says they're correct. Okay. He was born in Nicaragua, but he came here from Saskatchewan. Okay? And, this is an interesting question to see if you were listening to Jerry's presentation. I'm sure you were, but okay, number 15. Which pastor of Mountain View was known for his great nature stories? There is a struggle going on here. It almost reminds me of watching a race where the racers are in different lanes, and sometimes one is going ahead, sometimes another. And wow, it looks like Terry McComb. Would that be correct? Terry McComb was? And I know Terry. We worked together in a couple of different fields. I was trying to get him to send a message, wasn't able to connect. He lives in BC, but he has authored a number of books on nature, creation, and so forth. It's a real specialty of his, and it was Terry McComb. And Pastor, did you say, this is the end of the questions for me. There is one more question. Is it a trick question to see if I know the answer? No, because I don't know anything about this question. Okay, let's go to it. What is your fondest memory of Mountain View Church? Oh, okay. How do we put that in? Okay. All right. Okay, now you have to indicate, what is your favorite memory? Is it survival camp? Is it game nights? Is it hospitality? Is it gym nights at YMCA? Is it gym and swim? Is it Christmas concert, International Day, Ghost River? Oh, that sounds scary. And the baptism. Oh, this is people writing in their favorite. I thought that we were to choose between them. See, it was a trick question. Wow. Hey, that is really neat. Pastor, we need even more potlucks, it looks like. That is great. Wow. Pretty special. So, is there a way that we can keep record of this? Very good. Thank you all for participating in the quiz, which was a learning time for me, but hopefully it was also for you as well. And now we go to our next part. And I know my wife has been working on this. Mountain View through the years, a slide presentation.
Why memories always more beautiful than the present, than the present. What keeps me living is hope for the future, for the future. I'm never alone, we're in this together. The one who is known makes everything better. My Lord is my leader. I've come to the realization that the only motivation and inspiration to keep me going, it is my Lord. The connection with my Lord, it is my Lord. The connection with my Lord. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Whoa, yeah. Lord, I ask for the connection to only be deeper every day. The connection with my Lord. Lord, I always wanna be with you. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. God is my everything. Oh, whoa. He helps with anything. Oh, whoa. He is my everything. Everything that I'm looking for. He fills my spirit up. He fills my cup. Countless words that I can use to describe my Savior. He is forgiving, loving, and almighty. Whenever I go outside, I'm surrounded by angels. They protect me just like bodyguards, and I feel very safe. I know I gotta behave, and the only one that can save is Him. God is my everything. Oh, whoa. He helps with anything. Oh, whoa. He is my everything. Everything that I'm looking for. He fills my spirit up. He fills my cup. Look at this world that He fought. Look at the peace that He brought. Making song after song. He asked me how I do it. Obvious gift from the Lord. This all comes naturally. He supplies all my needs and my necessities. He simplifies when there's complexities. He always leads. God is my everything. Oh, whoa. He helps with anything. Oh, whoa. He is my everything. Everything that I'm looking for. He helps me out. There's nothing which I worry about.
Since no one is coming up, I assume it's my turn. So I just wanted to dedicate this song to Mountain View. And even though I haven't been here for the past 50 years, I've been here for about the past 15 or 14 to 15 years. And I have to say that as we look into the future of Mountain View, and as we look into the past, I would like us to consider what type of legacy we have been blessed to leave and what legacy we have inherited. So this song is a song by Nicole Nordeman. It's called Legacy. So I don't mind if you've got something nice to say about me, and I enjoy an accolade like the rest. And you can take my picture and hang it in a gallery for all the who and who's and so-and-sos that used to be the best at such and such. It wouldn't matter much. I won't lie, it feels alright to see your name in lights. We all need an atta girl or atta boy. In the end, I'd like to hang my hat on more besides temporary trappings of this world. Wanna leave a legacy. How will they remember me? Did I choose to love? Did I point to you enough to make a mark on things? I wanna leave an offering, child of mercy and grace, who blessed your name unapologetically, and leave that kind of legacy. I don't have far to look, too long a while, to make a lengthy list of all that I enjoy. It's an accumulating trinket and a treasure pile, where moths and rust, thieves and such will soon enough destroy. I wanna leave a legacy. How will they remember me? Did I choose to love? Did I point to you enough to make a mark on things? I wanna leave an offering, child of mercy and grace, who blessed your name unapologetically, and leave that kind of legacy. Not well traveled, not well read, not well to do or well bred. Just want to hear instead, well done, good and faithful one, yeah. Oh, yeah. I wanna leave a legacy. How will they remember me? Did I choose to love? Did I point to you enough to make a mark on things? Wanna leave an offering, a child of mercy and grace, who blessed your name unapologetically, and leave that kind of legacy. I don't mind if you've got something nice to say about me.
Let's hope this works here. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you so much. That was awesome. You know, I want to say thank you to the praise team. I want to say thank you to all the volunteers that made this possible. This was not just a one person doing everything. This was a number of volunteers, number of committees for this whole day to come together. What time is it? Let's take a look at the time. We said we'd be done by 4. We actually said we'd be done by 3:45. And, I just want to make sure that just give me 10, 15 minutes. We just want to give you an update on the fundraising aspect of everything. We put it towards the end because we didn't want you to think that we were here to do a fundraiser banquet. This was not the point. But we just want to give you an update. I think that's safe to share. I mean, we've hinted at it, so let's do it, right? So here it is. So for the past year, we've had a silent campaign. People have already been fundraising and pledging money that they're going to give. Let me just run through some of these. I'm going to throw a lot of information at you very quickly. So here is what an image to put in your head. This is the kind of church that can be down there. Our beloved brother Brian, he did this on the computer and put some images together for us. And Stacy, you as well helped with this presentation, right? Some of the slides. Cohen. Yes, Cohen did as well. So, and Nicole. Actually, this was a group effort. Let's just put it that way. So I asked permission to use some of these slides because I don't want to get in trouble later. So here's what this could look like. So just imagine the ring road just opened right now, right? So you can live on the other side of the city. You can get on the road. You know what? I don't feel like going to Central today. I feel like going to Mountain View. Just get on the ring road and you come. I'm joking. Don't do that. Don't tell Pastor Ganna I said that. No, just get on the ring road and come around and visit us. Anytime, of course. That's what's so beautiful about, and listen, people are going to Banff. This is what they're going to see. They're going to see a church sitting here on a hill. Now, our fundraising goal is to raise $1 million in 3 years, and we just want to give you a quick update where we are on that. Let me make sure I give this here. All right, so here's what we thought of the campaign philosophy. Elder Corkum helped me to draft this. Actually, this is something that he's done for many years, and he was able to help me with it. It says, everyone participating and allowing God to give through them. Okay, not equal given, but equal sacrifice. Does my commitment involve sacrifice? Not everybody here makes the same amount of money, and not everybody can give the same amount. However, it's the thought and how much thought you put into what you're given, correct? It says, is my commitment based on a faith factor, right? And then, of course, leaders participate in a silent campaign. And this is what really did it for me, because if we're going to be asking people and promoting fundraising, especially as leaders in the church, if I'm not giving, how am I going to ask somebody, hey, you want to buy into our vision of a church here on the hill, and I'm not giving myself? And this is something that Elder Corkum really put in my head, and I was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. It's like coming up here and preaching the Beatitudes and not practicing them. You actually have to practice what you preach, and this is the thing that made a big deal. All right, so here's some Bible promises, just to keep it in context. I know that the rate of inflation is crazy. Everything is expensive. Calgary has the hottest housing market in all of Canada. Vancouver, Toronto, all their markets have seen a drop except for Calgary. I read an article yesterday that Calgary saw record sales in September. In September. So that property down the street is worth a lot of money. Let me put it that way. With that being said, here's promises from God. Is anything too hard for the Lord? Genesis 18:14. Luke 1:37. For with God nothing shall be impossible. I like to add Exodus chapter 19, where God says, for the whole earth is mine and everything in it. God is the owner of everything. It says here, but my God shall supply all your need according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:19. All right, so when we started, let's see, building fund right now is sitting at 359. When we started this, it was sitting just a little bit above, what was it? Where's Sister Phyllis? There you are. Was it just a little bit 200? Over 200, right? So you could, what? Under 200. Okay, under 200. Look where it's at right now. This is cold hard cash in the bank, all right? That is money that Mountain View has right now, that members have said, here, let's raise money for the Lord. That's 1/3. 1/3, friends, okay? And this is only a year. We started in November. What are we? October? So, yeah, in a year, already a third. But here's where the kicker is. So the conference, has pledged to give us $100,000. And I was actually on a call with Elder Corkum and the administration and said, hey, when can you put the $100,000 into our bank account? You know, I was going for the kill. And they're like, no, wait, sis. How about we write you a letter that says we'll hold $100,000 for you, and when you're ready to build, we'll give it to you. So the conference has written a promissory note to give us $100,000. So that's guaranteed. Now, here's the pledges, all right? With the pledges received, okay, we received $160,000 from 381,000 pledges received. This is within a year, friends, which means that, let me see if the next slide, how much is that? Can somebody add all these numbers up? So that's almost more than half, friends, in 1 year alone. Can you imagine in the next 2 years, is it possible to raise $1 million? I think so. I really do. Now, there's ways you can give. Yeah, well, okay, this is the part where it gets a little uncomfortable, all right? You can give online. You can give with your tithe and offering, recurring e-transfer, children's story offering. In fact, the best way to do it is if you go on Adventist giving, correct. And then, you know what? Nobody touches the money. It goes directly into the church's account. Now, let's keep going here. So here is some of the financial contributions. This is how we foresee building the church here, right? Financial contributions, how we will fund the project. So financing, 20%, Mountain View's contribution, 23%, Alberta Conference, 2%. And then, of course, our ultimate goal is to sell half of the land, to go in partnership with a developer. We've actually spoken to 2 developers. Homes by Avi was one of them, and the other one is what is the other? Simply Buildings. Now, each of them has their own ideas. Homes by Avi would like us to give them the whole land. And we thought, you know what? I don't know. We don't want to part ways. Now, if we give them the whole land, we can get $5 million in 5 years and go purchase somewhere else. But I want you guys to just think for a second. Having a church down the street from the school, it just doesn't get any better than that. You imagine the partnerships that we can do with the school. The church can be open to the school at any time, and vice versa. The community outreach that you can do with a church just down here, you know, because it can be a community center. The place can be busy every single day of the week. I believe, did I do that? Oh, it's just that. I believe that a church building, should not just be for Sabbath. It should be busy every single day with some outreach ministry from either the members or from the community itself. Imagine if there's another pandemic. This is just, let's hope that that doesn't happen. But let's say that they need to vaccinate people, or they need to do a blood drive or whatever. Our church is there to serve the community for any and whatever reason. All right, let's continue. So with half of the sale of the land and money that we raise, the potential to build a building exists. Now let's keep going here. Here's where we are at. Project process, multi-year journey. This is something that Brian actually was able to help me draft. He actually made this. I didn't help him draft. He did this. I'm conveying what he says. If those of you who are familiar with Brian Corkum, he is an architect, and he deals with, this is what he does for a living. And so he knows the entire process of building a building. And he says, this is where we are right now, pre-design and schematics. But in the meantime, we need to continue raising money, of course. And the goal is to ultimately raise $5 to $6 million. Nothing's cheap. Some of your houses are worth probably $1 million or more, right? Now just think of, that's your own houses alone. Can you imagine how much this property here, just for this school building, is worth? People would dish out millions of dollars for this property alone, let alone for 5 acres that are just down the street from us. Here is a breakdown that Brian did for us. And this is something that we asked after many research, and this happened before I got here. People were being asked this. This is something that Pastor Corkum and the building committee communicated to me. We would love to see 6 division classrooms, a gymnasium, kitchen, support spaces. I've been telling the Lord, if I keep buying the lottery, okay, I will donate half of my lottery winnings to build a church. I'm joking. I do not buy the lottery. But if I did, I would actually do that. I'm just telling you. All right, so here it is. So we kicked it off in November of last year, and just wanted to share what we've been doing for the past year. So the church, the silent campaign, has been quietly fundraising money towards this particular project, all right? Now, here's some of the schematics that, Brian drafted for us, just so you can see what the sanctuary would look like, what the classrooms would look like. We want classrooms where you can fit up to 40 kids, and a gymnasium. There's been debate as to whether we should build a gym first or whether we should build a church building. And ultimately, you guys are the ones that decide that. Bottom line is, we need to continue fundraising money. And you know what? I'm good with either or. Whatever the church decides, I will support. Because that's how I feel, that's how strongly I feel about this. So here it is, the financial plan. This is something that Elder Corkum came up with. So cost for phase 1, whether we were to build a gym or the church first, we need $5 million. 1.2 million from Mountain View raises. We have, okay, actually we had 130 at hand. Isn't that crazy? When we build this thing, when we put these slides together, and now we're over 300. We borrow $1 million from the conference, from the SDACC at, I don't know if they still have it at 3%. That's probably debatable. I'd have to check on that one. Yeah, everybody understands that. It's an inside joke for those of us who have mortgages, right? And the renewals. See, friends, even if we carried a mortgage, and in this case, let's say $7,000 for the sake of argument, just with renting the church alone, you're able to make enough money and income to pay and maintain. If the church is managed well, you can continue to make money from the church rentals. You know that Church in the Valleys, one of the ways in which they have been able to pay some of the debts off is because they share the facility. They rent the facility out for other programs. And I can totally see our church building being part of that. You know what? I want our church to continue planting churches. I'm going to share something with you. We share our minutes, our Mountain View Servant Council's minutes with the whole church. If you read those, you know that right now we are the mother church to the Ukrainian church that's just being planted, and they're using the Lutheran building. I would love to see a young adult church, that this church plants a young adult church. Wouldn't that be awesome? And that building can be used for that purpose. I mean, the possibilities, friends, are endless. Yes, I know sometimes we have to deal with, the negative struggles of this and people turning you down and saying no, but you know what? You continue steady. What do you call it? Sometimes you have to cut off all the bureaucratic red tape. But you know what? You keep plowing through little by little by little. And you know what? There was one point where I had to ask Elder Corkum, this almost seems impossible. He says, listen. He says, hang on. Just hang in there. You see these things play out over a number of years. And it says, after the life I've lived, I've seen things just from one day to the next, they change. We just have to wait for the right chance, the right opportunity. But in the moment, God continues to ask us to continue trotting along, paving the way, and looking and searching for those chances to take. Okay, let's continue here. So this is some of the members, church building committee and elders, myself, Don, Brian, Chris, Elaine, and Herman. I got to tell you a story about Elaine and Herman. Every time Elaine gets on there, she's very, vocal and likes to say, listen, you guys let's build this right now. She's like, I love her enthusiasm for it, and I appreciate that very much. Nicole Miranda, of course, and Thomas and Carmen, and Miguel, of course. Now, let's see here. Oh, we did a little survey with, what? You put your hand. Oh, did I miss Bob? Brother Bob, where are you? You're right there. Brother Bob, actually, now I just remembered, he wanted to build a fire pit down on our property. And I said, I don't know. I said yes, but what did you build it? Did you make the fire pit? Okay, well, there's a fire pit down there if you're wanting to burn some fire on our property, all right? Just make sure you have some water handy, all right? Here, we did a little a Mentimeter kind of thing, and we asked the church what kind of things you would like to see. Now, some of these things you had already expressed before I was here, and here's some of the things they put: gym, AV booth, separate sanctuary and gym, sports fields, library, walk-in closets, multi-use auditorium that school could use on events, lots of classroom, large kitchen. You know, friends, let me share something with you so that you can understand how forward-thinking the leadership is. So you see all this AV equipment here that we have, and I'm going to be honest with you. If you read the minutes, it's all in there. It's worth about $40,000. And the reason I'm sharing that with you is because, you know what, when we go into our new facility, we're not going to throw this stuff away. Hey, is this stuff worth throwing away, guys? This stuff is going to be continued to be used in our new facility. You see what I'm saying? It's all towards the common purpose. This belongs to the church. And so we just want you to understand that we want the church to have the best, you know. You know, one church that I pastored one time, I remember somebody donating a used kitchen. And when they brought it to the church, it was filthy and dirty. And I'm thinking, if I was to ever donate something to the church, I would probably just make sure that we buy something new for the church. Never donate an old, dirty kitchen. Now that we cleaned it and it still worked, but I thought, you know what? That's not the right spirit, especially when you're bringing something for the Lord. You know, you bring the best of your offerings. Okay, let's continue. All right, just a quick references. We're almost done. Just to show you a few images that Brian put together for us. Here it is. This is where the property is. You see where Chinook Winds is? So when you drive down that property there, that's our property. 5 acres. A lot of land, friends. A lot of things you can do in that land. Here's something that Brian put together for us. He said, this is something that our auditorium, our church facility could look like. It's pretty neat, eh? Here's what it would look like from the main entrance. Just really nice schematics. He's not on, is he? He's probably watching from YouTube. He's on Zoom? Hey, Brian, come on here for a second. Let's see if he comes on for a second. Is that our canvas? Is that his? Oh, there he is. Okay. Hey, there he is. You know, our friend Brian got COVID, and so that's why he's home right now. Sorry, brother. That's unfortunate. But you can see he's really enjoying himself outside. Thank you for these schematics, friends. I'm just sharing them with the folks here, okay? Here's another one that he drew from another side. And by the way, one thing Brian had said is that not to be married to these because it could change. But just want you to visualize what is possible down the street. Here's another. I actually screenshot these when he was doing the presentation. Here's another angle of that. As to what it's able to look like. And of course, if we were to build this facility, we want to do it in 2 phases. We either want to build the gym or the church first, and then build the other part later. If money was not an option, if one of us won the lottery and said, I'm going to donate $13 million to Mountain View for the church building, that's what we would build. We would build a church building with a gym and all those the parking. That whole facility would just be built. Now, I know that's not going to happen. So we have to rely on faith and the good promises of the Lord. But we want to do it in 2 phases. We cannot continue, how do I say this? At some point, we want to have our home, friends. We want to have our own church building where we can, are you able to leave when you come to your house, are you able to leave your shoes wherever you want? I mean, unless your wife calls you out on it. But just saying, as a sake of argument, you can put your things wherever you want. I would love to have our own church building where our children can, our kids, especially Cradle Roll, can come into their room and they have the felt boards. And they're there permanently so they can learn about Jesus. Friends, that's one of my favorite memories. And kids, even with today's technology, they love those felt boards. Even today, wouldn't it be nice to have a room for the little ones where they can come and do that? And rooms for all of our particular activities, not to have to go around the city renting rooms for a baby shower or for a birthday party. We can just meet. And of course, on top of that, the city outreach that we can do, the ministries that we can do, the possibilities are endless, friend. And you can make it happen. Let's see, we already talked about how you can donate, and I thank you for your time. Thank you to everyone who participated in today's event. So for now, what's going to happen is we built into the time till 6 o'clock. You can hang out, talk, have a good time. You know what? And then at 6, we'll start cleaning up. We just wanted to make sure that you had time to just completely relax and feel at home, and just to have conversations with friends you haven't seen in a long time. And we want you guys to reconnect again. All right, with that being said, let's have our closing prayer. There's refreshments outside, and just please stick around and enjoy your time here. Thank you to everyone and the volunteers. We appreciate your help and for making the day very, very special. Let's bow our heads for prayer, shall we? Dear Lord, what a special day today, Lord. We have so many things to look forward to. Thank you for your people, Lord. Thank you for this amazing congregation which you have guided for the past 40 years. Lord, this congregation, Lord, this church, it's celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's older than I am, Lord, which proves to me, Lord, that you are greater than any one of us, Lord, that you alone, Lord, transcend all space and time. And Lord, if we are worried about where we're going to be, where we're going to live, where we're going to worship, Lord, we want to bring these concerns to you, Lord, because you know that you have heard the cry of this church. Lord, sometime a few years back in 1985, Lord, at a board meeting that Mountain View had, and I don't know, Lord, what happened at this board meeting, but I can only assume that the decision was made was probably unanimous. The entire board made the decision to give all of its earnings, Lord, so that this building in which we stand could be built in a year, Lord. Lord, somewhere I read in the Bible that it says that you will not forget the good that you have done for others. And so, Lord, I'm here at your door, Lord, claiming that promise. Do not forget, Lord, what this good church did in the past, Lord, for you. Lord, help us to meet the right people, to be able to cut through the red tape, Lord, and to be able to build a congregation, Lord, that we can leave for our children so that they too can bring their children there and know about your goodness and your mercy, Lord. This whole project, Lord, transcends any one of us, Lord, because it is a safe place, Lord, where people can learn about you and your mercies and your goodness, Lord. And Lord, bless your people. Continue to bless them in their work, in their homes. Be with them, Lord, in their comings and in their goings, Lord. And as we part ways for some of us, Lord, I ask for your traveling mercies. And Lord, for the next 2 hours, Lord, give us a little bit of slice of heaven, of what heaven is going to be like on that first Sabbath at your feet, Lord. So we come to you, Lord. We submit everything to you, Lord. We pray these things not because we are worthy, but because of Christ's precious, precious blood. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Friends, enjoy yourself. Go get a little bit of a drink and come back and have a chat with your friends.